What's up, everybody? Charlie here, AI Code Central podcast, working title. More to that later in the episode. The name will change. But I'm coming to you right now and want to talk to you about the app that we created. It's called Campaign Pilots. And what this does, this solves the problem of understanding the website analytics you're using as an app builder. So let's say that you vibe coded a CRM, for example. You got it live, you pushed it out, you've got it on Reddit, put it on X, Product Hunt, everything. You hit deploy on Bolt, Lovable, whatever your platform is. You wired up GA4, you've got Tag Manager in there, you've got it on verified domain with Search Console. What does that data actually mean? When you go to those screens, when you're looking at sessions or UTM tags for different campaigns in GA4, you're looking at bounce rates, acquisition channels. You know what I'm getting at. It's an overwhelming screen of data, a bunch of numbers on a screen, and that you have to make sense of this. What our app does, what Campaign Pilots does, is it makes sense of everything. So you log in, you connect your data sources, you connect GA4, Search Console, and Google Ads, if you're running Google Ads. It takes a couple minutes. Once you're connected in a chat, one chat per data source, you ask GA4, summarize the SEO in the past 30 days compared to the previous 30 days, and you get a summary. In that summary, you're told what the top pages are, because websites are web pages. Google ranks web pages, not websites. You get a summary of that data. You get what are the top 10 non-branded keywords. All of those questions are answered for you in a matter of seconds inside of this app. What it does is, let's say you're not a data analyst or a marketing analyst. This is your marketing co-pilot. So you can take the data and you can ask the AI, look, based on this historical data that you're seeing here, what are my best actions moving forward? And it will tell you. So everything is very simple to read. It's in a simple chat interface. You get scheduled analysis as well. So let's say you're an app builder and every Wednesday morning you review your Google Ads. You can have a set report sent to you. Let's say top non-branded keywords, your ROAS summary, all of that is sent to you every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, for example, so that you can make decisions based on that analysis. So it cuts down reporting from 5 hours to a matter of minutes. All of that is done for you. Plans start for free. So start 2 weeks free. See how it is. We would love your feedback on it. It's a free trial, no credit card required. So check out campaignpilots.ai. Once again, that's campaignpilots.ai. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of AI Code Central.
What up?
This is episode 27. We've got a lot of great things in store for you today. We're going to be chatting with Christian Peverelli, who is a really interesting founder that we're going to chat with.
Outbound or outbound?
Outbound. Bond. Sorry, I keep saying it wrong. But for those of you who don't know me, I am Mallory. I am your community and brand marketing extraordinaire. And then, of course, we have Charlie, who is our SEO expert. And then last but not least, we also have Connor, who is the go-to person for all things paid advertising and growth. So yeah, so welcome back.
Okay.
Boom.
All
Mallory,
right.
you nailed that.
He's
You
buzzing.
nailed it.
Woo!
All right.
M-Dog is
Makes me happy.
buzzing.
This is my first time doing the intro, guys. So thank
You
you.
did great.
Thank you.
You did
All
great.
right.
Love it.
Yeah. Little clicks.
Wait, I was expecting more of like a song. Is the song coming? Oh, the song will be coming down the road.
It
somewhere.
will, especially when
Okay.
we pick a new name. I'm gonna do something fun.
Love
so
it.
we'll see a little jingle maybe.
Little jingle of
Okay.
sorts. Yeah.
All right.
You know what's really funny is jingles. Sorry to digress too much. I know we want to, we're going to go into a catch up, but the agency I started at, it's very like old school traditional advertising, some digital stuff in there, but like worked with a bunch of automotive dealerships and they all have like their own little
Yes.
jingle.
Yeah.
And we literally had this one guy, Tom Evitable, like he was really like good guy.
What a
nice guy.
name! What a name!
He's also an author, which is really, it works out really well. Tom Evitable.
Wow.
But he would just, when we had to do like a holiday campaign or something, or just any regular campaign, he'd close his door and all you'd hear is just jingles upon jingles
Wow.
upon jingles
Yes.
and mixing them. And some of them were, he'd have people come and be like, what do you think? And he'd play it. And he had a really big ego. So you're like, you didn't want to hurt his ego too much. And you'd just be like, oh, it's great, Tom. I hope the client likes it. And he'd send it off and the client would just be like, what the fuck is this?
This is the cringiest thing I have ever heard.
It's so cringy. And it's just, I think it was just that time where it was kind of getting out of the timeline of places using jingles for the most part, but he'd just come up with these corny, like early 90s jingles. And I'm like, Tom, I'm like, no, but I can't say no. So I'm just like, go do your thing, man. Some of them were good. I'll give him some credit.
I'll guarantee there's a few of those in our subconscious that like if we were to hear it again, we would know the tune and we know the jingle to some of these commercials, at least for me.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Like,
100%.
and some of them were actually good. So I'll give him credit. And back like when he had first started, I think he had come up with there's some commercial out there, the Crazy Eddie commercial. Do you guys know what that one is? It's like a very so it's like Crazy Eddie who would give like the biggest discounts on all of his vehicles and stuff, and it went really like before you could go viral, it went viral, right? Just in a traditional sense. And he was like, I guess, the genius behind that. So that was his calling card always. But
jingles and mascots. Jingles and mascots.
And mascots.
You really can't go wrong with a jingle and a mascot.
We had a mascot for an automotive dealership. It was a bull. It was Route 22 Honda, and it was Kiss the Bull Goodbye because you were kissing all the BS goodbye when you were going there for your car, you know?
It wasn't the guy with the inflatable arms, the wacky
No.
guy?
But they would have those. They'd have all sorts of like, you know, activation, whatever you want to call it, like barbecues on the 4th of July. It's like, who's going there on the 4th of July? But hey, people show up, man. It's weird.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, I digress. I apologize.
Yes. Well, I was going to ask you guys, how was your weekends? How was the past week? Charlie, tell us.
Okay.
I know you're launching campaign pilots like this year.
Launching our app. Yeah, campaign pilots have been down that black hole. So I don't know what I'm going to bitch about now that I can't bitch about API. Well, I'll still bitch about API endpoints. But yeah, those wrinkles have been ironed out. So campaign pilots is live. I guess we can chat about it more in a minute, but that is live. I learned a lot. This whole project between authentication, between connectors, between just really how to work with AI in a way that doesn't just gas all of your tokens, how to plan, probably have a PRD, and then have a better plan for like, here's this arm of the app, which does, the reporting, I guess you could say. Yeah, so we'll get into that more. But yes, this episode is sponsored by Campaign Pilots. So this is
our first sponsor.
Yes, our first sponsor.
It took us 27 episodes. You are welcome, you filthy animals.
Hey, it counts. It counts.
Yes. And campaign pilots. I mean, I think I first took it to Connor, the idea and he's like, oh, okay, another fucking idea. And because I took a lot.
Connor, I think it is exactly how I did it too. I was like, oh, right, here we fucking go. No, I'm kidding.
And then I showed it to him, and what it takes marketing analysis reports. So not just like dashboards and like the pie chart and the graph, like all that BS, but it actually tells you what is happening with your data. Let's say sessions in GA4, it tells you, is it direct? Is it organic? Is it paid? Is it email, affiliate, whatever those traffic sources are, it tells you what's historically been happening and then how to go about it in the next 30 or 60 days, whatever it is. So it takes.
Is it bad that when you said GA4, I thought of GTA 4?
No, because I love that game. So
I don't know why, but my brain's like GTA. Oh no, he's not talking about.
So it solves a problem of marketing analysis that takes like 6 hours, 7 hours of like making sense of your website data. And it does that in a matter of minutes. So it's geared towards AI builders as well as marketing agency teams or internal marketing teams. So with Connor's help, Connor was the first one. Like Connor, I remember showing you. I know this is still my weekly
V1.
V1, and you're like, no, stupid. Use a connector, not just a CSV upload. That's what I heard, and then I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, I probably should.
I can come off really harsh sometimes, very direct.
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn, right? So
Queens.
Okay, Queens.
Come on, Charlie.
Is
Brooklyn? You kidding me?
That is done. That's out. That's deployed. So that's exciting. That's been in the brain for quite some time now,
and it's badass.
Yeah, that thing is freaking dope. So that is exciting. So you got that out. We'll get into that more here in a minute. Started a new show called Chernobyl on HBO. I have not seen that, and I fell asleep about 10 minutes in. So couldn't even tell you.
So not good, clearly.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me when I woke up and like freaking out.
What is it? Chernobyl? Is that an older show?
Yeah. It's like pre-COVID. It's like 2018, maybe 2019.
Definitely did the same thing. I think I watched like the first episode, and halfway through I was like, no, I don't. It's too slow. Don't understand it.
I was like, nah, I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm not going to watch that. So, okay.
I finished Task. That show is nuts. That show's wild. It's a badass show. It's got Mark Ruffalo in it. He's an FBI agent. Yeah, badass show. Definitely peep that one. So that's cool. Yeah, back on the ice playing hockey. My hips are barking right now. I do yoga like 3 times a week now.
That's amazing.
Like,
we should do it. We We should go to a yoga class together.
I don't want to do that.
Connor,
No,
too
please.
bad. What if we make it one of those sessions where we could do yoga with goats or
goat yoga?
puppies?
All right, you might convince me to do that.
Have you done goat yoga? Have you done yoga before, Connor?
Yeah, I don't like it. It's very difficult for me. I'm more of like I like lift weights. Like I like to go in the gym and lift weights and like
I lifted last night.
It's for flexibility, flexibility, really, right?
And like breathing and just like, because playing goalie, playing hockey, like now that I'm back in our Friday skate. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot how good NHLers are, even when they're retired. They're so good. I got
you played against an NHL guy?
That's so fun.
Like in our skate, we have like a handful of them.
Oh, that makes sense. There's probably a lot in like the Colorado area.
It's Colorado. So when I went to Raleigh, I asked them about, you have to ask the guys at the hockey store, the skate sharpeners, like ask them about the scene, not coaches. Or
that makes sense.
Like you want to ask them. And he looked at me and he was like, yeah, it's not like it is in Colorado. Colorado's got a really good scene. So we play in our skate, a guy named, I probably shouldn't say his name, but his numbers retired with the Avalanche. Like he's one of the best goal scorers ever played for Colorado.
Oh my God.
And so like he comes and he's like the nicest dude too. And like he's still in wicked shape. He plays pro tennis in the area. Nicest guy. And he fucking just picks you. He will like kind of be mean to a goalie, which is kind of fun. Like it's cool to play against guys that are that good because we have like college players and then you have like retired NHLers. That are like didn't
and
get
they like
paid.
Put them in their place. Probably.
Kind of
like
those, and then
you
have like retired NHLers that got paid to only score goals. And that's that dude. So you see like the different tiers of skill.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. He's so good.
I would be scared to play with him.
He's like the coolest guy. And he'll stay and like drink beers and like tell stories of everything. Because there's no like, quote pigeons in the skate. So there's no like jock sniffers asking for autographs. Like you're playing hockey with the guy. And guys.
What else could you want? Why do you need an autograph? You're playing
exactly. So there's like 24 guys. Everybody, one guy brings beers for everybody and you stay and you do your thing, and then you go home around 5 or 6, and you get on with your Friday night. So that was a very long intro between the deployment of the app. Cool
sponsored by Campaign Pilots.
Yes, which we'll get into in a minute. But yeah, playing hockey and yoga, it helps so much with that. Just the up and down of goalies, it ruins your hips. So
I'm semi-convinced.
Yes. Anyway. Connor, what's
Oh man, another day. It's Black Friday, Cyber Monday madness. The past few weeks.
Best time of the year, right?
It's the best time of the year.
Monday before Thanksgiving is freaking awesome. I love this time of year. Except this is when people go feral at shopping centers.
Yeah, it's that.
But do they still do that?
Oh yeah. Well,
no.
What do you mean by that?
I would say they do because I personally wait for Black Friday, Cyber Monday to buy certain things, right? Like I want a new laptop, right? So why buy one now when I know on Friday I wanted one a month ago, and it's like just wait a month. My laptop still works. Why not? And just wait till Black Friday when they're all on sale, and then I can get the laptop I want for maybe $200 less. So I'd say I think you need to be a planner these days to probably take advantage of Black Friday because there's just so much thrown at you. So you should probably know what you want. But I'm sure there's a ton. I mean, there's a ton of data behind like impulse shopping on Black Friday too. You throw a big deal in someone's face and they're going to buy it whether they need it or not. Right.
A deal. And half the time it's not actually a deal, which I try and make sure I do research beforehand because I'm like, is this brand actually doing discounts or are they just like pretending like they are? I think so. Like I remember 10, 20 years ago, I mean, more so 20, like people like fighting, like people waiting in long lines, people fighting. And I just think that physical stores were so much more prevalent than they are today. Like you can easily still participate in Black Friday or Cyber Monday and just do it online without having to go somewhere in person. So I think there's less of that kind of vibe, but I'm still sure there's people that are waiting in lines that get into fights, that are trampling over each other. But I just feel like it's less and less these days than it was many years ago.
I'd be willing to bet if you actually go out in person, it's probably a better experience almost than maybe shopping online in some regard.
Yeah.
Because you probably just don't have as many people out there and they may be trying to draw people in. I don't work with a lot of retail, so I can't really tell you in that regards, or at least brick and mortar stuff, but might be running better deals. Who knows? But anyway, my last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks really has been just implementing, executing all BFCM stuff, getting it prepped, getting it ready for the big basic clients I have. So that's been taking up a lot of time, and I don't mind it. I like it. It's the busy time of year for me. And then once Black Friday's over, everything that comes after until the year's out is like a breeze. So it's like December it gets really easy, and then January is like the calm after the storm, and I can take like 2 weeks of just like decompressing, not doing nearly as much. I have a ton of clients who are just like, hey, we're going to take a pause for January, which I'm okay with because it's just, again, it's not their profitable time of year and allows me some time to take a break. But that's where I'm at right now. And Thanksgiving coming up, I'm actually going to the parade in New York City. I've never been, so super excited. Gonna have to get up really early, but that's the name of the game, to get like a frontline spot. So yeah,
Frontline.
yeah, my wife and her family, we're gonna head out very early Thursday, probably around 6 like a.m., catch the train or the subway. It takes like probably take 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes to get to where we want to be and catch the beginning of the parade. And that'll be a checkbox off the experience list.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my my update for the week. Mallory, what's up with you?
What's up in my world? All right. Well, definitely not as busy work-wise as Connor. And that's more so intentional. But few things. One, this weekend I spent 3 to 4 hours learning Italian opera. I'm currently trying to learn the song "O mio babbino caro," which caro. Sorry, I'm learning how to say specific Italian words. And I'm learning for fun, more so for fun. And I've actually, funny enough, one time many years ago, I did a costume party with a bunch of friends and we all had to dress up as characters. I was an opera singer because my friend knows I knew how to sing, and she asked me to just randomly sing at some point because it's like one of those experiences where like you have to. So I just belled out Ave Maria all of a sudden. And everyone's like, what is going on, to the point where I have other friends that are like, can you sing at my birthday? I was like, you want me to sing opera at your birthday? Like, what do you mean?
That's awesome though.
I can sing pop, I can sing rock. We can like, make it way more exciting than that. But so that's been really fun, diving into
What's
that.
the name of the song again?
It's called O Mio Babbino Caro.
Oh, Mio Babbino Caro.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So
Say
when I
that
have
5
the
times fast.
recording, I know when I have the recording, I will send it. But it was so funny. I called my mom this weekend. I was like, Mom, I'm learning some opera right now. Do you want to hear it? She's like, yes, of course. So she's like in the car and I'm just singing in my office. And she's like, I'm crying. I'm like, oh my. I was like, oh, this is the best. This is so sweet. This makes me so happy.
So you're a classically trained opera singer, correct?
I am classically trained. I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself to be an opera singer. Like I grew up singing a lot. I mean, for probably 5 to 8 years of my life, singing choir, singing church music, singing, and a lot of that is very classical in nature. So no, I'm not trained as an opera singer. I'm actually thinking, I was just telling the guys before we started recording that maybe in the next 20 years, I can apply for something like the San Francisco Conservatory of Music and learn more. But yeah, it's really been nice to have the space to just be creative and do stuff like this. So
what does that mean? You're classically trained. Like what goes into that? What does that actually mean?
That's a great question. I think it's more so that my voice is built for really high ranges and I have a very strong vibrato and I love classical music. So I don't know. I wouldn't look, if you were to give me a sheet of music, I can't read you the notes. Like I have to like listen to something to learn and then kind of do it repetitively and then break it down. But I think, I don't know what the definition of would that be. Maybe I'm not actually, but I mean, I did take lessons for a long time. So I took lessons for years, not only just singing in choir, but then learning how to sing this type of music. And in the Catholic Church, it's not considered opera. It's more just like classical music. And yeah, that's the best way to explain it. Yeah. So I did that. Did some coastal hikes with the dogs. Also did some yoga as well, Charlie.
What kind of yoga?
Vinyasa hot yoga. So keeping it simple. And I spent way too much money at the West Coast Craft Fair this weekend. For those of you who don't know, the West Coast Craft Fair is like it happens twice a year here in San Francisco, and it's a great place to buy literally anything that's like super unique: clothes, knickknacks, art, home goods. And so
I love that kind of stuff.
I woke up Sunday morning, I found out, I looked at my husband, I'm like, this is my day. I have to go to this. And so bye is right. So I did that. Had a great dinner with one of my ed tech founder friends. Hopefully we can get her on the pod next year.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, I got sucked into a rabbit hole of making the best wish list for women
I want to
for
see
the
this wish
holidays.
list. I want to see this thing.
It's not about me getting the gifts. It's about me just being able to curate the list. I have an obsession with curation. So that's a topic for another day. But that was my week. Oh, and then one other thing, I had my second post launch on my Substack today or last week, and I was focused on the loneliness epidemic,
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
community is really the antidote to modern day loneliness. And
It's a cool
so
picture.
if that resonates with you at all, definitely take a read. So okay, now I'm done. Those are the updates.
Okay. Cool stuff. What are you doing for Thanksgiving, Mallory?
I'm gonna be hanging out with my niece and my nephew, my 4-year-old niece, my 3-month-old nephew, hanging out with my sister, having Thanksgiving with the family. It'll be honestly pretty chill. My husband's trying to go crabbing in the morning, going surfing and going crabbing at the same time to catch
Nice.
some
Oh.
crab. So instead of turkey, we're hoping to also have some crab because it is in season here in
Whoa.
San Francisco.
Okay.
Did he
And
just drop a
he's
crab
intense.
pot down like while
Yeah.
he's surfing? Yeah,
Yep.
and then he'll go
He
pick it
drops
up when he's done.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Exactly.
cool.
That's
He
awesome.
has everything. So it's crazy. But so we may have some fresh crab on Thanksgiving. We'll see.
Some
If
of the
all goes
best
well.
out there in SF, that's for sure.
Y'all
Yeah.
getting together any friends on Wednesday night? Or like a nice dinner or anything?
No, because I'm lame this year, I think.
Oh,
But
okay.
there's no reason other than I've kind of been in isolation mode. So I don't
Quarantine.
know.
Yeah, I've got my girlfriend and I headed to our favorite restaurant Wednesday night, and I don't know we're old now. That's kind of a problem now. So if I have like 2 glasses of wine, I get like sleepy, even though I have insomnia.
I'm right there with you. In
So
fact, I won't even drink a lot of the times I go out now, which is sad. It's not that I don't want to. It's just it makes me feel like shit. So, and
yeah,
it
That's
gives me
exactly
anxiety.
why. Yep.
I love wine and steak. It's so good,
Ugh.
and oh yeah, it's so good. And this restaurant is so they're just on point with everything. Like their menus, their wine, their it's the steak. I probably sound like a turd right now, but
No, you don't.
yeah, it's I love this spot. So yeah, Wednesday night, we'll see what's going on. And then Friday we might do a Friendsgiving. We get like
Fun.
a bunch of people together.
I love Friendsgivings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Me too.
And my girlfriend makes the best brownies. Oh my God, they're freaking unbelievable. Like from the South, it's like a recipe from her grandmother. It is
Mm.
unbelievable.
I
Okay,
got a lot of butter in them.
where are our brownies? Like, what the heck?
What do you mean?
For Connor and I.
For
Yeah.
who, like I'm not sure what you mean.
I'm not following you.
I used to always do that to Cash. She goes, "Would you just send me some?" It's like I don't follow.
I don't understand.
I don't understand what you're saying. Anyways, so yeah, that's the week. I love this time of year. Like I said, the Monday of Thanksgiving through the end of the year, it's just freaking fantastic. I love. There's a buzz in the air. Right? There's
Yeah.
just like,
Oh, of course.
and there's
Holiday
this-
season.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, moving right along. Campaign pilots. This has been the front of my brain for so freaking long. I don't even know if this thing is going to work. We'll just see. We'll putting it out there and seeing.
How do you mean you don't know if it's going to work? As in, you don't know if it's customer base is there?
Okay, so to me, okay, when I say I don't know if it's going to work, well, one, we don't have any customers yet, but I think it will just because it scratches our own itch. So, but there's a part of me that still thinks the way it reports, in other words, telling you versus showing you and not using charts, that might be a component that will need to be put in. But I guess at that point we would take customer feedback. I guess is how we would do that.
Yeah,
So,
I would too. And I think we should also look at campaign pilots as this ongoing, optimization of it, right? I hate to use that word for everything, but it's like this ongoing, just like reiteration of it and building on what's already there and just making it better, right? So I think those pieces get put into place either at some point, whether it's by feedback or by our own use case.
Yeah, I feel like a best next step would be to reach out to, 10 marketers, that really well, that you respect, to test out the tool and give you just honest feedback on what they think, if that's your
Mhm.
target, especially because, hey, like I just built this. I'm super excited to put out into the world. I've known you as like such an amazing type of marketer for so many years. Like I would be so grateful and honored if you could just like test it out and give any feedback. I would do that so you can start
Okay.
getting
All
some
right.
of those insights and that feedback. without
Okay.
waiting for, your first customer, what have you, right? Which
Yeah.
you'll learn from that too. But I would try and go to the ideal ICP and already get them to test it out and start learning.
So, Connor, how would you, just because I've been staring at this thing for the past 3 months, 4 months, I don't know how long it's been, way too long.
Yep.
How would you describe campaign pilots?
How would I describe campaign pilots? As an efficient tool that saves you an enormous amount of time on reporting and analysis. And I think that alone, it just, at least in my experience and other marketers, colleagues, they would understand what that means. And that's just like my one word answer, right? It's a amazing tool that helps you with marketing analysis and strategic direction. Like, that would be a really good way to put it, right? Because the whole output from it is it's going to read what's in your Search Console, your Google Ads, your GA4, right? And based on the performance and the timeline, it's going to give you what you need in terms to say, this is what's working, this is why it's working, this isn't working, this could be why it's not working, and then come up with some really creative ideas in terms of how you can approach certain things that may not be meeting expectations or hitting the KPIs that you're looking for. So again, very long-winded answer, but the initial one-liner response is how I describe it. And again, I think that's a pain point that solves a problem for a lot of people. Again, me alone, 20, 30 clients or so, it's like I could spend, especially in the beginning of a month,
Yeah.
like,
I used to reach out to you to,
yeah,
hey, Connor, can you make sense of this data? Can you
right.
Can you put together reports so we don't get fired?
Yeah, like each report, depending on how robust it is, can take anywhere from 2 to 5 hours, right? And again, 20 clients, and that's coming from me, who's a more boutique, agency. It's like, think of really big agencies that have 50, 60, 70 clients, and you have to do reporting. If you can automate that,
yeah,
it's just like, it saves you so much time. And listen, I'm not trying to downplay the importance of reading analytics and providing strategic direction post, analysis, but it is something at this point that AI can do, right? And do it in a pretty efficient manner. And if there's ever any questions or concerns over the data output, it's like, that's where I would go back. And that should be your job anyways, as marketers, to validate what you're actually getting, right? The tool is meant to help give you the report output 10, 20 times faster than you would do it normally. And then it's your job afterwards, to where a report would take 2 hours. Maybe it's 15 minutes of adjusting what the output is and then sending it over to the client, right? So again, I think it solves a huge pain point, especially for someone like me. And I'm not the only person who does reports like that. And the other thing on top of it is, because of how I structure my reporting and analytics, you're not the only person who comes to me, Charlie, for just reporting. I have a lot of other agencies that I work with who, they just don't excel at reporting. And it also solves a problem for them. Whereas, okay, I don't need to depend on Connor to do my analytical reports every month and make sure he gets it in on time, or, et cetera, et cetera. So again, it's not exactly replacing somebody, but it is accelerating the way in which you can get those reports out and over to clients with some solid analysis points.
Got it. I think when I was building it, I would just shut it. I wouldn't turn off the lights, but I would just shut everything else off, and I would just try and focus on this thing and solve a problem. I think it was Sam Altman that put out a post. Actually, it might have been Bolt. Now that I think about it, actually, somebody put out a post. Somebody really high up at one of these LLMs put out a post of the way to win this game, and the AI SaaS game. The way to win this is to not make an app that people use, make it irreplaceable, and basically make the app part of the workflow.
Yep.
So when I showed Connor, the first thing he says is, no, use connectors. No, stupid. Like put in the connectors, GA4,
Search Console, and
Google Ads. And I was like, oh yeah, by doing that, we will then inherently replace the need to go to GA4, Search Console, and Google Ads, which I don't even use Google Ads, but GA4, and sifting through those freaking sidebars of
they suck anyways. Like,
customer
sifting through
acquisition.
those suck anyways.
It's
Yeah,
awful. And it's time
Mallory,
consuming. It's really time consuming. I think there's a 2-part play here. So go ahead, Charlie. Sorry.
I was going to ask Mallory, like, as someone who doesn't, or like, did you look at the analytics a lot at Bolt or Discord?
Yeah, I mean, as someone who's going to be running a marketing team, I need to make sure that there's some amount of reporting happening. So, but it's just like stringing together a bunch of data points that are being tracked on multiple platforms, depending upon the campaign or whatever I'm doing. And then it's about turning that into a report for the leadership team. And then also finding a way to share that data with the team as well. So we know how to like actually improve on our follow-up campaigns or what have you.
Yep.
And I'm not a data person. I got a D in 4th grade in math. I can do some math, but like, I'm not your data expert And so having a simplified way to do that, I think, is important, considering that there are all these data points are all over the place anyways. So yeah. But look, a lot of folks are like, aren't you just like a vibe marketer? And yes, but also, and like there's data that is being tracked in parallel to
Yeah,
that. I'm not just
just
like blind, you know
Got
what I
it.
mean?
right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think just making sense of it. And by the way, you're talking to someone who got D's his entire school career. The only reason I passed was because of test scores. And my teachers hated that. They hate it, drove them batty.
You're a good test taker.
But yeah, that was
Yeah.
good because I would just my brain was just all over the place. Anyway, so just making sense of that data, even just like thinking about the row like organic search and then like all the KPIs, is just like, oh, that's so
Oh, it's
boring.
so
It's
tedious.
brutal.
It's so so
I
the thing is
know.
like I love it, but it's so tedious, right? Like at this point, reporting is I just don't like doing it because it's so tedious.
Oh,
Right.
like I'd rather go vacuum my living room or something. Like it's
100%.
brutal.
I'd
I
rather
kind
spin
of I kind of like
initiatives.
vacuuming. Maybe it's personality types.
No,
I
I
love
do
data
too.
and I love vacuuming.
Well, I like vacuuming, but I don't like data. Unless it's summarized simply for me, then I do like the data
Oh,
actually.
so there
You
it is.
know?
Okay, so it does that. It takes
I like it's
like
just more so I need it to be simplified. I need to make it quicker. Connor's point, right? Like how it takes any marketer between 2 to 5 hours to like pull together a meaningful report to
mhm.
whoever they're trying to share that with. And that to me, like if I can be spending more of my time doing the things that I know I and get energy out of and are my strong suit, so I can say and save time elsewhere, like coming up with freaking reports. Because I think two reports, you got to like go down the rabbit hole, right, a little bit and just really
Always.
dig in. And I'm like,
Always.
I can't, I'm like, I don't have the focus for that.
Yeah.
It's such a big, that's another pain point too, right? It's like, so even if, again, how you approach reporting, like your reports are typically going to what? Either your higher ups, right? Like really important stakeholders in the company, or it's going to a client, right? And I'm sorry, anybody can take a screenshot and be like, hey, I had 50,000 sessions from organic and 25 from paid and 30,000 from referrals. And it's like, that's great. Like, everybody can read, right? It's like, what does it actually mean? And what's the,
And
what's
then
the
what's the
change in
output?
percentage and what's the
Yeah.
output and what did you
Yeah.
do to create the sessions to drive in, or why is it declining, right? So it's, to Mallory's point, going deeper down that rabbit hole. And that's where it gets really extensive, right? So it's like the whole thing about reporting too. It's like, that's your opportunity to showcase value for either you as an individual or you as an agency or you as a marketer, right? To say, hey, yep, data's here. This is what we did. And now I'm validating what we did because it created positive outcomes. Or
Definitely.
here's your negative outcomes and here's how we're going to fix it. Right.
Definitely.
Telling someone, hey, this campaign got you 50 conversions. So what? How did the conversions get there? Where'd they come from? What's the
Yeah.
behavior?
Yeah.
That's where all of it comes into play, and Campaign Pilot solves that.
I think that's a big part of the value is the how. It tells the story. And then
We'll have to do some workshopping on positioning, perhaps.
yeah.
But Charlie, I don't hate data. It's more so I hate the process. I actually think data as a marketer is a massive tool that I embrace. It's more so the process of pulling all that together, telling the story, and then to Connor's point, like digging into the strategy. It's like, yes, I could just say we got 500,000 impressions, but like what, right? Like there, what's the why behind it? What's the how? Where is it coming from? So
Yeah.
there's also that too.
So it ultimately saves time. It's geared towards AI app builders, hence the show, or pardon me, the sponsorship presented by sponsorship, so that app builders can know where their customers are coming from and what to do next. And then marketing teams, agencies, internal teams,
CMOs, marketing managers.
Yeah.
Like can be used across a couple different.
Yeah. I don't remember at what point we put in the ability to schedule the analysis too. So really, you won't even need to go to GA4 Search Console or ads anymore. You can just schedule that report,
Love that.
tell it what you want, and
And
then
can't
it
we
hits your
send it
inbox.
to a specific user, right? Like if we
Yeah,
want to change
yeah.
the email. So again, for client reporting, if you just want to be like, hey, every week you're going to get a report on your Google Ads performance
You can CC
with some
them.
really valuable takeaways, you just CC them on it and it shoots out. Again, like hands-free,
Yeah,
no work done.
I did that last week to Connor. I was like, I wonder if he'll. I mean, this is going to hit his inbox. I wonder if he'll read it. But it was like last Friday, I think I put that in the CC, and then I just sent it randomly to it.
Yeah.
But no, that's oh my gosh, it saves so much time. So
I mean, I use it right now. I get a report every Monday for a client, and
Oh,
I
cool.
send it off to him.
I
Like,
need to be testing this.
Yes.
I doctor it up a little
Uh,
bit, right? Because again, it's like I don't want exact AI output. I want to sound
there are
human.
no M dashes in there.
No M dashes.
That
That
is
was a big
holy-
thing. Freaking M dashes.
Yeah. Yes,
But,
Mallory. I'll share access I'll get you an
I'd love to
account.
dig in. Cool.
As a brand marketer, expert, community, I'm going to hold back. What are your thoughts on the name Campaign Pilots?
I was waiting for you to ask me this
Yeah,
question.
just poke holes through it,
It
Mallory.
sucks. No, I'm just kidding. No, no,
I'm
I'm
sitting
kidding. I'm
here.
kidding. I'm kidding. No, I actually like it.
Oh, you do?
I
Okay.
I do.
So the
Oh,
the, the
Charlie.
Word
pilots,
Oh,
the word
whoa, the
campaign.
pilots refers to the agents, the AI
I
agents,
do.
which will
It's actually the one word I hate. It's sorry. I hate this word.
strong words.
Sorry. It's
Strong
the
words.
one word out of both of them that I'm like not as excited about, but I get it. I understand. Like to me, it's like, okay, it's a place where I'm going to be able to better understand my campaigns or even manage them, which isn't necessarily what's happening here, or even understand them. So that's kind of where my brain goes when I hear that. I don't hate it. Easy to say, 4 syllables. Love that. Sorry, I had to count
No, I love that. No, no,
pilot.
no. It's lit. It's like spot on. I
Like,
love that you do
that's
it.
the D student coming
Uh,
out, right?
I know. Yeah, that's the D student. I'm like, oh, I got to count on my finger. I
Yeah, because
still
I was
do
going to say,
that.
I was
I
like, wait, that
still
doesn't
do
make
that.
sense.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's very simple. It's easy to say. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. It's just like which for like a data platform, I actually really like the name.
Okay, good. Because I want to go into the process of like, well, do I
You
say
didn't
this
get a D
now?
on this one, Charlie. That's an A, man. That's an A on the name.
I was going after handles and then like trademarking it.
Yeah,
going
that's
going
cool.
through that process. I don't know
That's
what
cool.
that entails, but I guess we'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. I
Uh,
mean, usually depends. Like you might have to work with a trademark lawyer. You'll have to
okay.
file, or you can file it yourself, or which I've never done before.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Cool. Well, that is exciting stuff. That has been. I wish I had my phone handy, Connor, because I would play that voicemail that you sent me or that you left me. Pardon me. I want to say that was mid-August.
What about validating the idea for you? You were like, this is what I want to do. And
It was a voicemail you left me, and it was like, "Yo, hit me up. You're probably on your bike doing something stupid, but this campaign pilots is, or this app idea. I think you said we didn't have the name yet. You said this app idea is really interesting. Call me back. Click. So I played
wait,
it about 6 weeks ago, but I'll play it again in our next episode if it's
that's
still
cool.
sponsored by Campaign Pilots.
if we're still
Yeah, we
sponsored by
we
Campaign Pilots.
might kick off. We might kick out Campaign Pilots as a sponsor by next week. So
They get their shit together.
for real. Last I heard, they were stuck in some Google API bullshit. So if
Yeah,
they
all I do
can
is
get out of that, then like
complain
we'll
about
work
it.
together.
It's the worst. Anyway, okay, so we've got Christian Peverelli, and
Yeah.
that was a great interview. Great dude. Good insights. And I mean his tool Outbound. I mean it's a badass tool. So I learned I want to I really want to look into that app. It looks great, and he shared his screen. We did like a walkthrough.
It's just a really cool concept for cold email outreach to me, right? And I know he's going to tie some other things into there, but again, it's like working.
Yeah.
And Charlie, you've done that. I mean, I think we've all probably had some, involvement in outbound cold emails at some point in our careers, and it's just taking it, automating it in a system that actually understands. And he used this word, like how sophisticated it actually has to be, right? It's not like
Yeah.
find a list of people, download it, don't clean it, right? Just put it in an email platform and come up with one email with, maybe hi first name and then your body copy and send it out. And it's like that doesn't work when you do it manually, right? You have to go through all the steps of collecting the data, right? Enriching that data, right, from the contacts, cleaning it, putting it in the software, and then putting in your dynamic fields. And it's like he's just taking all of this and just, from start to finish, like it's a couple of button presses and some prompts, and it's doing all that work for you. So I just found it a very efficient tool more than anything else. That's just,
Yeah.
again, leveraging AI and really smart build.
It's a good looking app. It solves a real problem because I used to have to do that at the freaking magazine, and he's an early investor in Lovable, which is wild.
Super
So
cool. And for myself, I mean, like you said, Connor, like we've all done outreach and in our careers. So I felt like that was kind of a magical moment as a marketer to just be like,
Mhm.
holy cow, something that I'd have to like dive into a spreadsheet and get all of this information manually is now just populating in real time, and it can get super specific. So, as a agency owner, when it comes to outreach with specific businesses or startups that I'm looking to work with, like it'll be a great tool for that. I think that it does a lot of other things, but I think that to me felt like the magic moment or like the part of the product that I would at least market the most. That's just a personal opinion, but yeah,
Well, let's throw it over to Christian.
let's do it.
Sweet. All right, we are here with Christian Peverelli, founder and CEO of Outbond.ai. Christian, thank you for taking your time and being on the show.
Absolutely, man. Super glad to be here.
Yeah, and for context, I literally just plowed into your DMs but like you're coming on the show. Like you just stop what you're doing, everything you're doing on Tuesday afternoon, morning, whatever it is, your time zone.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I read AI coding and I was sold.
That was it. It was that easy.
Yeah, it wasn't your profile pic that got me in.
Oh, good.
No offense, of course.
I kind of look like a farm animal. But well, awesome. Okay, Christian. So please tell us, your brief kind of history and where you're at now with Outbound.
Yeah. Oh man, history. Only makes sense when you look backwards, right? Because the past 15 years I've been building companies and it's been like totally crazy. Got some wins and some losses there. About what was it, 8 years ago, I became the director of an accelerator program in LA when I moved to LA. So historically, I'm like very multinational kind of guy. Grew up in South America and Europe mostly. And so when I moved to the US, I decided, okay, great. Like right now, I'm not running a company. I'll take this opportunity. And I loved training founders on one side. And on the other side, I was like looking at thousands of applications and just realizing like, oh my God, the system is broken. It was kind of like this realization that like, we were fielding like about 8 to 10 founders that we were selecting, but out of about 1,000 per cohort. And then we'd train them for like 6 weeks, put them on stage at Google. And the process was just like seeing where founders were for the amount of time and energy they had invested. And I just found like basically like no or terrible products and no customers was like status quo. It was like 90% of founders were in that situation. And oftentimes it spent like so much money with programmers. I personally had been frustrated in the past, 15 years ago, starting a first tech company as a non-tech person. And that's when I realized I wanted to actually create kind of like a more hands-on accelerator that actually taught people how to do things, not just like go talk to customers, but like the tactical side. And at the time, no code was like a movement that was really just starting. I discovered Webflow and it was like the realization like, oh my God, I can actually do it. And that like has basically turned into kind of like an obsession for me. And like this idea that like, oh my God, even though I'm like terrible and like, I'm a guy who's like out, I love being outside. I love like, I'm not at all a kind of tech guy. I'm able to like, build a website that's beautiful, and that evolved into me building We Are No Code into basically a seven-figure company in starting a YouTube channel to just teach people some no code tools and like and entrepreneurship and that led to a YouTube channel with 300K subscribers. I think
That's
maybe
awesome.
today. I might hit it today. I don't know. Maybe today, maybe
Oh
tomorrow.
my God.
Yeah.
Damn.
Let's go.
Okay. It's that background.
And that's changed everything basically. But it also brought up the next big question, right? I was early in that space and discovered AI coding and really shifted the entire business of We Are No Code. Because for me, the end goal is like help non-technical like founders, right?
Yeah.
So I shifted into AI coding and also was an early investor in Lovable when they started coming out, and like Bolt and Lovable and Replit were kind of the only ones on the market at the time. Now, obviously, there are many more. But I realized like this is the future, and I saw it happen so quickly in that space. But I also realized like now that building has become increasingly easier, the problem is how do you go to market, right? And that's when, funny enough, but like Outbound was born super organically. Like I had like probably my nerdiest student ever who like joined the program. Guy was like a AI solutions architect, had been like building apps for companies for a really long time and like building automations, all this kind of stuff. And, he built leveraging no code, like with Make and Airtable, just like an automation that was booking him like, about 8 customer discovery interviews with my framework, right? So I had like all like, like I basically had it all like written out and like how you have to do and the cadences and like how the whole thing should work. And then he just automated like the nuts and bolts. So then we had other people start doing that. And that's what got me interested. I usually get really curious when like I see something really cool like that. Started doing some research and discovered Clay, basically, which is this like go-to-market tool that's super sophisticated. But then I also discovered like this like multi-million-dollar agency model around it, because it's so damn hard to use. And so it made me realize at that point that there was a clear opportunity here. And having fallen in love with like the kind of like left nav experience of like the likes of Lovable, Clay, and even like things like Cursor, even though Cursor is on the right, it made me realize that there was going to be a similar opportunity in the go-to-market space. So that's when I was like, in the end of the day, this is what I want to dedicate my next 10 years towards, because like my end goal is, and it's basically like I want to, leave this world having been known as the person who helped a bunch of other people like escape, like not escape the 9 to 5. I don't like saying that, but like being able to believe in themselves and take action on their own dreams, even if they have a 9 to 5, and like,
Yeah.
like just the ability for them to do it. And I think like the majority of us are non-technical, so empowering non-technical people. And so for me, like this shift is now like, well, if you need a go-to-market engineer to use Clay, like great, let's just build something that allows you to do that without a GTM engineer and that makes it like accessible to the rest of us. Because frankly, like sophisticated plays is what's required these days, right? You can't just blast out and all all, what is it, one size fits all kind of like email and expect to get any kind of responses. So you have to get more sophisticated, and I don't think that should require a go-to-market engineer. So anyway, super long-winded answer to you.
No,
I told
that
you
was
didn't know
awesome.
what you were getting into, but there you go.
So
All right,
I'm curious. I'm curious, like why outbond instead of outbound? Because unfortunately I'm finding myself kind of saying both. And we were like trying to figure this out beforehand. We're like, is it because of a domain situation? Like, what's the inspiration behind the name?
Yeah. So honestly, there are two things. Like the word bond both relates to bonding with another person. So kind of, getting customers is ultimately being able to like bond with people. So that was one piece of it. And then bond, like, the secret agent who's able to hyper target people
I
and get after them.
see.
So,
Okay, brilliant.
now that being said, you are right that that is a common mistake that people make. Outbond is similar to outbound, which is why we don't really talk about outbound
That
as
makes
much as
sense.
outreach. Because
Okay.
I also think the word outreach is more accessible to the general public, where they understand what outreach is, whereas like outbound is like a little bit more for the techie people. But yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, definitely
I
is.
think you're totally spot on.
yeah.
That's really creative. The bond being like the secret. That's pretty cool, man. Like,
Yeah, it's cute.
oh, that's
The
awesome.
agent.
I mean,
Yeah,
I can take
that's
credit
badass.
for like I'm smart and that's badass, but also it's just like a lot of time on like Namecheap, just like looking up the domain name.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean,
And
that's
then you
part
Charlie
of
find
the
is-
the name, and then you
process.
have to find a story behind it, right? No,
Well,
no.
Charlie's known for just Charlie, how much do you just scroll on like, domain finders just to find something you think is going to hit the jackpot one day?
Well, not as much as I used to, because now agents can do some of that
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
But
yeah.
oh yeah, before
Prior to.
it was so I toned it down. I own the domain vibecoding.co, I think, or .io. I think after that I dropped some money. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just
Taper down a little
pump
bit.
the brakes on this a little. I was flooring it before that. Oh, I go ham.
The real question is, have you sold any of your 20,000 domains that you own? That's the
There you
question.
go.
I have not, no. And I was bidding on a couple like pretty big ones.
Oh my God.
So
I did this. I've done the same thing where
Same
I'll,
here.
and
I
I'll
think
just
that's
wait.
like a disease everyone who's a maker has.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's especially as an SEO, like it's pretty
Yeah.
bad. And then
I've done it
yeah.
before, and
So-
I'm like in my host, and it's like, here's your domain value, and it went from like $0 to like 30, and I'm like, yes, I knew it. I knew it was gonna score big. It's like,
Yes, but like you'll never sell it. So
Oh,
if
no.
someone at you like
Absolutely
won't
not.
actually see anything from
Yeah,
it.
it's like your crypto, it's like all those paper gains are so great. And
I'm
then
waiting
you
for the
just,
broker
like-
to reach out to me any day now if
Yeah.
someone wants my
Yeah,
domain.
the GoDaddy guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out Poopy Dog is not a great cryptocurrency. Good to
Damn.
know.
Well,
Anyway, kind of steering it back too. So talking about outbound, Christian, you explained it to us a little bit earlier, but just for the listeners, like, can you explain in simple terms, outbound, what it does, what problem does it solve for everybody who uses it?
Yeah, I mean, the best way to describe it is as a sales intelligence tool. And I always use sales intelligence just because like we're an agentic first platform. So basically it's just a bunch of agents that are specifically trained on the right models to do things. But ultimately, it's like a lovable style experience that can run workflows. And what I mean by that is kind of outreach workflows. So basically, if I break it down in plain English, it's like you can build hyper-targeted lists. Then you can do enrichment, meaning you can find their company information, like phone number, their email address. You can also do deep research about these prospects. You can do hyper-personalized copywriting, whether that's like a message or maybe like you want to do a custom sales script for each prospect. And then you can plug it into a sequencer so that you can send these out. So basically, it's like hyper personalized outreach at scale. So the ability to do that for like thousands of people without burning out your, domain. That's probably the number one mistake that people make. And then also like creating, I'm a big believer that like outbound or like this process of outreach has been really broken for a long time. Everyone kind of like thinks of it as like just like spam. And it's gotten even worse with like AI. But the thing is that like when you are able to, basically build these things out very quickly and like sophistication, but also ease of use and speed, it means that you can basically like send out very, very smaller number of people like in each campaign, like maybe like 50, 100, 200 instead of like thousands of people. And you can make with AI these like messages really, really well drafted, right? And I think there's even a lot of mistakes that people make right now, right?
Yeah.
So if I take it one step more technical, there's like signals, right? Like the most important thing is actually building a list, right? And I'll probably show this in just a little second, but like if you just get in front of the right people at the right time, you are way more likely to get, positive responses.
You're already further ahead.
Yeah. Timing
Way further ahead.
is
Yeah.
like the perfect ingredient.
And it's like that's where they say like the list is the message. There's like a saying like the list is the message, and it's because like, if you're moving, for example, right? And then, you're like 2 weeks before moving and suddenly you get hit up by a company that's like, hey, you need boxes. It's like, even if it's like totally cold out of the blue from, John Doe that you don't even know, like there's a much more like, there's much more
higher likelihood they're going to open that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Open it, read it, and probably even buy. And that's where, we've been able to increase the conversion from like kind of like cold email, usually like open rates, or not open rates, but like positive response rates are like 1%, like maybe max 2. Like we're like seeing campaigns that we're building that are at like 10, 12, 15, like, so it's like
a dream for
it makes a big kind of difference. So we're trying to solve that big problem because ultimately, the channels will change. One day it won't be email. You can also do this on LinkedIn on the platform. You can also just like do it with phones, like call people or like, but ultimately like business ever since we traded with salt has not changed. You got to meet the right people. Then you basically build the relationship and then, you do a deal or no deal, right? Like the show. Usually the answer is don't take that box. But basically, like, I think that's like a fundamental piece that has to be fixed because it's probably not going to go away in a long time. So, you can do outreach and, we're hyper focused on like getting customers, but we're actually seeing people use it for like things like partnerships, recruitment, and a lot of other use cases that are basically like, even fundraising for like VCs. It's like,
Oh yeah.
just go in here and like, hey, find me the funds who are currently, that focus on this type of company, et cetera, et cetera. And so,
well, you can even have builders come in and use this based on what they put together and target the right audience for it, right? Just to see if you can get people to sign up or whatever your objective is. But it's such a great point too, Christian, because I work with a ton of people who need CRM, outbound outreach, cold email marketing, and it is such a pain point to constantly rotate through domains, make sure there's a ton of syntax and emails, and it's manual work right now, right? So what you're doing is solving a problem by just automating a lot of the, grunt work, I guess you could put it, and get it out the door a lot faster with results that speak for themselves. So that's awesome.
We kind of took the cheat codes because we built a lot of the complexity that you would see in a platform like Clay, but then we trained all of the AI on all the best GTM like engineers in the world, like literally the cream of the cream. So like basically when you use our platform, you're not only using a platform that's relatively easy to use, but like the prompts that are created, for example, if you're doing something like, okay, do lead scoring for me, like that lead scoring is going to be very sophisticated. And all you said is qualify these leads, and it like builds out that entire like lead qualification for you. Same thing with like deep research. It builds agents and goes out and searches the whole web, scrapes their website. Like,
Yep.
so it's sophistication with ease of use. And that's what we've like always been about, really. That's like, yeah.
Yeah, and it makes total sense because that sophistication piece, right? It's that extra step or two that sometimes I think people aren't taking to make it a more sophisticated system. And if yours is doing it in an automated fashion, awesome. Like, it's great, time saver. So
The funny thing that we've realized is like actually like there are two parts to it, and it's very rare to find people who are amazing at both, right? So like now we've taken out the technical complexity of like building out these sophisticated campaigns, but like it still requires to understand like, well, like who should I target? What kind of like what would be the angle in me targeting? So like the strategic side of things is something that we're increasingly like helping people to learn. But I think that, you know, when you put the technical part into the hands of someone who's a little bit more sales or go-to-market oriented, like they are just in a way better position to understand how to kind of tackle like reaching out to these people. And so I think that, you know, that's our ultimate goal is to like, you know, I think on our website we have, it's like, you know, we turn, you know, every salesperson into like, so they can perform like a top 1%. Like that's kind of what we're trying to do. You know, it's like, yeah, maybe I can show you guys this at some point if you want to.
Yeah, let me ask first, real quick, Christian. When I was with my old job before I started down the SEO dark, very dark rabbit hole, I was selling ads in a magazine, and I would get phone numbers and emails. So like we had our CRM, and it drove me freaking bananas because there were times where like the emails weren't verified. They would bounce back, and then I would call. You know, I would first call like on the phone to sell an ad, and it would just be like a dummy phone number. So I used to get all my phone numbers from press releases, and I'd get cell phone numbers from the accounting department because AR always picked up the phone. They always picked up the phone. So how do we know that on this platform, the phone numbers and emails are legit? Like they'll actually reach that decision maker.
Oh man, I just have to show you the platform because we have basically
dive in.
Because the thing is like we've built in like, okay, so the world right now, and let me just kind of explain what like the world right now looks like, just so I can kind of show you. But I'll show you the, you know, I'll put this as so people can also see kind of the you know, once you log in, the dashboard is
Ooh,
like
that's
this.
pretty.
Yeah, and basically like first it's like build a list, right? And usually like you're absolutely right. Like finding the right prospects is a huge pain in the butt. People are using Sales Nav with 10,000 tabs open, and then like and then enrichment is the next part. Now we need to find these people's contact information. Like who do we like? What providers do we use? Like we've also already brought in all of the best providers into this platform based on the selection of the best GTMs in the world. So it's like they use the same, pretty much the same stack, all of them. And that's because there are just some people who are great at this. So like the way that, and I'll kind of bring you through some basics here, but like there are three main ways that we like starting things out. Like either you just like build me a list of, and you describe the role, you describe the type of company or industry, the location and the size, right? That would be kind of like a classic prompt that you'd feed it.
Yeah.
And then it would do a search based on that and build a list. And I'll answer your question with enrichments in just a second, because we do waterfall enrichment. Basically, we have 5 of the best providers in the world, and it goes through each one of them. And then if it finds it, it then does verification as well, because we have another verification provider, pings the server, and then it's going to tell you whether or not that is a valid email or not.
Okay.
Meaning that you can now sieve out the people who are not, or filter out the people who are not, and target the people who are. That's the long story. The last one you could do is, I know exactly the companies. Let me just say, here are the people I'm looking for at those companies, and then dump a list of maybe 50 companies. So these 3, just stay strictly to kind of like this approach, and you'll be like pretty good. Let's use this one as an example. And I'll also add an additional thing. And you can find, by the way, we have like a free, like kind of like all the filters that you could apply, so that you know, like to stay within that realm of filters. But I'll show you how we can find out so much more about these people who recently changed jobs. And let's say San Francisco. And I'm going to make lots of mistakes just on purpose. And then senior marketing managers.
What if it pulls up Mallory?
Yeah, exactly. It absolutely will. I hope it does. So then you just like kind of go, and it splits into 2 things. Now on the left-hand side, what we have is basically a full agentic infrastructure that is going to break down this basic prompt into the filters. It's going to apply that and search multiple different databases and actually live. So it's not just like, oh, some big database with like stale data. It's like live going out and finding it. And it's going to create like a preview of first prospects that we're going to be able to take a look at and see like whether or not this actually works or not. So like the first thing we'll see is that, because we put this filter recently changed jobs, that means that like it only brings up people who changed jobs in the past 30 to 60 days.
Sick.
And so you see that there's actually only 41 people who fit this criteria. And that's because it's very niche, right? We
Wow.
like have like this, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, wow, this is incredible. I was actually
Yeah.
going to ask you earlier, like, what is the difference between a tool like this and like an AI wrapper? But like, I understand it's like the verification, sort of validation process and component is very different. And the fact that the data is live, right? It's not like
Yeah.
data that is old. So yeah,
Yeah.
just those two things off the bat kind of, is there anything else though outside of that?
Yeah, so this is where it gets like even better. Like because it's AI, like this is our first prospecting. And this is a little confusing. People were changing this actually to like see the actual people's faces as like cards so that you can see these as like individuals because people think the list is built here. And actually this is a preview of 25 prospects out of these 41, right? And you have to import the number you want to actually build the list. So at the top here, there's prospecting list files. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but basically the cool thing is like, okay, do the entire US now. And so you can go back and forth. Like you can say, oh, actually, I don't want, here's the other thing. Like I don't want this like role, right? Marketing manager, I only want senior. If they're called marketing manager, I don't want those people, for example. But one of the big things that it does is that it's able to also grab super weird things and find like alternative names for those roles that you would have never thought of, So if you're looking for like compliance managers, for example, like it's kind of tough sometimes to like know what these people would call themselves unless you know this industry so well. And they'll probably have 10 different ways of doing it. So now we do a second search, we change the criteria a little bit, and now we have way more people because there are way more people who, because now we did US, the whole of the US. So you could just fine tune. And then when you're looking at your profiles here, you're like, oh yeah, these are exactly the type of people that I'm going after. And I'm happy with this now. Perfect. New York, B2B marketing. Cool. This is who I'm going for. Then we can import lists. So then import leads. This is also something we're going to change because we import by pages, 25 leads per page. So I'll just import 25 here to just show it. But then it builds out the entire list for you, creates the columns, and starts bringing in all the data.
Awesome.
Yeah, including something that we added to this, which is we have an agent that, based on just the base information we have, brings in their website. And that's super important for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's step one, that usually this process alone, like we're having SDRs tell us like, oh, like this is what 50% of the time of my SDR does is just prospecting. And your list finds better
crazy.
Prospects in seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's cool. But then like after that, and this is where the whole world is like split into thousands of different things, people will usually go to an enrichment platform, right? Like a data provider that can find you emails, right? For us, we could just be like, booga booga, find emails. And I can say,
I'm going to use that before my prompts moving forward now.
Actually,
yeah, I think if you say booga booga, it will be, the AI will just answer like, do not insult my intelligence. I am way better than you. So now it creates an additional column basically for you, and it's going to run through waterfall enrichment. So what it does actually under the hood is that it finds emails, it goes through like the top providers, and it then pings the server. And if you have a little check mark here, you can see that it is a valid email, right? So if I go inside this column setting, and you can go into all the column settings, I can see all the providers. Prospeo is like an amazing provider, but these are basically the best quality providers that you can get all under the hood. And instead of having to buy licenses with bulk thing, like we've bought that, so you also have great pricing within the platform. And then we could run this for the whole row, right? So for thousands of leads all at once, now you've just solved the problem of having 3 other tools for enrichment, verification, all that. Super easy. Same thing with phone numbers. And on the side, this is what I love maybe the most, is like it just starts pushing you more closer and closer to actually creating a full campaign, which would be like, potentially doing some research. So this is the next thing that I love is like the research, because it's like, think of it like an agent builder, right? So I can say something like, okay, could you now do research about this company and figure out their ideal customers? I want you to return the answer in 3 to 5 words I'll just say 3 to 5 words. Now, you can pretty much ask to do research about anything, right? Right now, this process is like, great, we went through the whole enrichment stuff and that's all cool. Now I'm going to go into Chat GPT and grab each one of these companies' names and I have my fancy prompt, but I'm now doing this for like every single prospect one by one. That's literally what people are doing today. So let's see, what's your website? That doesn't matter. You have to search for their website.
Do it for me.
Yeah. Are you asking me to research companies? Yeah. To understand their ideal customers? 1, yes. Done. Okay. So basically, it's really like it's just asking you this information, and I understand you want me to research.
It really doesn't want to do the work right now.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta bully it a little bit.
Yeah, AI is just lazy. But you're like, yes, do it. And this is like the beautiful thing about AI is like I can demo this and do exactly the same things, and you'll get slightly different results.
Different output,
yeah. Which is also great when because it means that like even if you're looking for the same types of leads, you're not going to get the same like lead list as other people too. So what has it done here? It has actually created a agent inside this column. It has written out a very complex and a better prompt than I'd be able to. So it's like, identify their ideal customer profile based on their company name and their company domain, company website and product. Analyze all of these things about them, and then the format, ideal format, and then it gives examples of the ideal formats because we said 3 to 5 words. And then it built the whole output schema so that it comes back in an organized way. This would usually take like an Uber nerd to like build this in N8N. Now you just run it in a column. And then it's just like, basically, I can double click on this. It also shoots out all the information into additional ones. Outdoor digital visual communication and advertising is what their primary use case, and this is their ideal customer. And it's now done this for the first 5 because we want to make sure we get the right result for you until you run it for thousands of people at once. But for me, for example, since I'm promoting outbound, I would want to probably ask, like, might be a line in there that's like, hey, you looking for more of these people? Because we can help you find them in a second. I created a video or a lead list for you. And that's where knowing a little bit more about like how could you strategize around this stuff. But it's also shot out these things underneath here into columns automatically for us. So it gave us a status. I don't really care about the status, so I'll just delete this. Primary use case, it's good to have, but honestly, I don't need this here. The only thing I want is the target. Yeah, let's just go for ideal customer segment here. So we'll delete this other stuff, and now we can just keep going. And here's what's really cool. Like you can do like lead scoring, because the next thing is like, okay, maybe even before like finding their email addresses, we want to qualify whether they're a good fit for our company. So I don't personally like hire or like product managers right now, but like I could be like, okay, qualify these leads for me. If I ask it to do that, the cool thing is that it knows, like me and you know, like if you don't have the context, it can't qualify because it needs to qualify understanding what you do. So it's either like, tell me more about your company or just feed me the website. So let's feed it. Charlie, what's the name of your website?
Campaign Pilots, one word, campaignpilots.ai.
Pilots.ai. Is that written correctly?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. And now it's going to go out and it's going to scrape your website. And it's going to do another thing that you would have seen at the beginning of all this if we had just started with like, here's my website, find me leads.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that is creating files. Now, what are files? Why do you care? Files is basically like ICP, ideal customer profile, the persona that we go after, and also a company description. And these 3 are really, really important for us to then apply for things like, when we're qualifying leads, but also like if you're copywriting, this will already understand so much context about your business that then it writes really good copy that's personalized that you can also adapt. And then we can send that out to each individual and it's like hyper, personalized.
Yeah.
So you can ask it to just like create hyper personalized. You could be as vague or as specific as you want. You could just control every word in the email and just have one thing that continually like changes. So for example, like, I don't know, Charlie, you're into SEO, right? Like, we could have it basically like scrape these people's websites, these leads' websites, and come up with 3 SEO ideas that they could be using to be able to that you could like give them as of in the value of the email. So it's like, hey, I came up with 3 strategies that you could apply tomorrow in SEO. Hope this is useful. I know you just so like the first line could be like, I know you just recently hit your company. You're probably trying to crush it. Like, here are 3 examples I think could really do well for your company. And they're like, and that like could be the only thing that like changes and is super specific to their company, so that's where this stuff becomes very powerful. So here it's writing out this stuff, marketing automation platform that helps marketing teams automate and optimize their campaign workflows. Love it. So it's also creating the persona. It's also creating the ICP, and this is what it can use to just build the list to begin with. So this is where I say
great.
like, yeah. Anyway, I'll kind of stop it there because at the end of this, you like write out the email and then you plug that into a sequencer and it just sends out to thousands of people at a time. So it's really about creating hyper personalized outreach that converts. And has just a higher likelihood of and that's what we talk about when we say like sophistication. Usually you'd need a team of 3 people and clay to build this kind of thing. And now and it would, and now you could do it like yourself. And so it makes it that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like democratizing sales intelligence and like empowering the next generation. It's really about like putting the tools in the hands of people who can use those tools. And right now, it's like crazy how much people are wasting time. Because what I showed you, each one of these things is a different subscription, and they're like in between 5 tools, and it's like between 10 departments, like just to do this.
Right.
It's
Someone's got 10 tabs open to scrape the leads, and you got to tell them what kind of leads, the ICP, and then you got a copywriter needs to write the email sequences and make each unique with all the syntax.
Prospecting and outreach are like 2 very very different skill sets. And no, I've been through that. Like, 100%, because we were commission only salesmen, so we had to do everything.
Yeah.
Like,
I think a lot of people have to do that, right? Any businesses out there, any builder, right, who's trying to roll something out there, like this applies to them in that regard. So
and it's the whole life cycle. Like, how do you build a good product? You start with customer discovery. How do you need to get interviews with people who you think would want to buy it? So it's like
and validate it.
Yeah. So you realize that like it can be used for like the solo founder who's like just operating solo at first and testing out an idea, all the way to like the multinational who's like doing this at scale to just like feed their sales teams, So it's like that's what I find fascinating about this model specifically. And the fact that it's so broken just felt like it needs to be modernized, And it's just only now that AI allows us to like plug all of the data in one place so that like these emails can be super contextual so that we can reach people at the right time with like signals and like, and there's lots of stuff you can do with this. Like, we're actually building out a couple of features we're going to drop next year that are going to like kind of blow people away, I think.
Cool. Badass, man. I'm definitely going to sign up for this with our app. So
nice.
Cool stuff. So we're a pod about, customer acquisition, between the 3 of us, our skill sets. So my question is, how are you solving that? Like, I would guess you're eating your own dog food, but how are you getting customers to this app?
Great question. Well, the first answer to that is we're just starting.
Okay.
Like, we launch on Product Hunt officially in January. But we basically like released like a video showcasing this, and we've got a lot of inbound like requests. So we're hyper focused on like the product right now, and just like within the product to have it be more self-explanatory and providing like education so people can really get it, making like smoothing that whole process out. And but ultimately we're gonna be we already launched a couple campaigns that are performing really well, as I told you, in terms of just like like eating our own dog food. Then also I have like a pretty big audience, and I'm a huge believer in kind of like influencer based marketing. So not necessarily like influencer marketing, like pay people who have lots of reach, but like we strategically only raised a couple $100,000 right now from people who have followings or who have a huge amount of value to add to the table.
Makes sense.
And
Distribution.
yeah, and so
Yeah.
bring in distribution beyond myself and my following. But definitely that will be like a first big thing. I think that another thing people don't talk about a lot is just like YouTube is like a blue ocean for this kind of stuff. Like if I
Yeah.
look at like GTM, there are like no like GTM channels that have any kind of a following actually yet.
Really?
There's like
I'm not familiar with
yeah,
any,
like
actually. I
the
didn't even think
biggest
about that.
people, the biggest people on YouTube, like who talk about GTM have like maybe like, I don't know, 5K subscribers, like 10K subscribers. Like, I don't know if you know like Adam Robinson, this guy who's like RB2B guy. Anyway, this guy is like a kind of like a big name and like, yeah, he's like crushing LinkedIn and all of these people are crushing LinkedIn, but like YouTube, they just like, you know, and I think that our opportunity in the longer term is to be able to reach beyond like, you know, like people who really have, you know, our smaller teams as well, right? So we've created this in a way that's going to be product-led growth, and we're also right now hiring our first person that we're putting in like a GTM role. So, but honestly, if you ask me what I think wins at the moment, I think it's like build trust with content, top of funnel content, and SEO, like intent SEO. Then I think like you retarget people with paid ads to like bring them kind of like deeper funnel and just like a lot of value. You just like the whole funnel has to just have so much value, you know?
Mhm.
And then, you know, I think that, and then you put on like things like events and for like the kind of
Community.
lower funnel, like, yeah, community and that kind of stuff. I think that's what the strategies I'm kind of seeing. So like, that's why I love speaking to you guys because you're all specialists in these, like all these
Yeah.
like spots. And that's how I think about it as well. Like, just kind of like, okay, like what does like a journey look like, right? Like someone might fall and see like an outcome based post on LinkedIn or on YouTube.
So
And yeah.
yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what is your top of funnel? Because it sounds like a lot of what you're doing is you're putting a lot of the marketing, you know, whether it's budget or just effort behind the top of funnel stuff, right? Which makes sense. You want to just get them in and get some visibility there. What are you doing from that perspective? Is it like, is it storytelling? Like, is it, you know, how are you trying to brand yourself and what's the exact message there?
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know that we've gotten sophisticated enough now because we're in a very early phase
Yeah, yeah.
at the moment. But yeah, I can tell you kind of what, yeah, the main pillars that we're working on is like we have built-in content machines. So like that already is something that can bring people towards it. Then I do also believe in like going out and like intentionally going after the people you think will get the most value from this, which is why we're kind of bringing in a first person who's going to be a little bit more on the sales side of things. But also because you want like at this point you really want to build like this feedback loop between like the product and like the customer that's like tighter. And I think that
Right.
when you have someone who's like on calls with people all the time and like they're fielding the objections and understanding you know where the value is for people, I think that's like actually really powerful. And I'm obviously doing a lot of that. You know, right now there's only as much as I can handle because we're also getting like kind of investors starting to come in and ask questions. We're getting, you know, we're starting to structure the team. I obviously like I have a lot of leverage because I do have a following. Like one of the big things I think people don't realize about having a following is that it's actually not about the following. It's about the access you get. Like I'll get like you know people to answer my DMs who before would just never, you know. And
Yeah.
I think that that's something that that's like a perk of it. But still, you have to go out and build, you know, these relationships and like you know, it's like, so there's just a lot going on right now. And we know that like the more we make this product amazing and for people to be able to use it in a way where they just feel like it's magic, I think the more that we're going to win. Um,
Yeah. That'll
Yeah.
help with word of mouth growth, right? Like, because
yeah.
there's a magic moment there that I just saw as a marketer. And so I imagine it's like, how do you get that word of mouth flywheel going with other marketers too?
Yeah, exactly. And then like basically like we're in a phase where we're gonna start fundraising next year, and that's
Nice.
really to bring in like some top talent who actually knows exactly all these different areas. Like we have some of the parts covered, but also like when you're building a team, you want to make sure that you're moving forward with like people who know what they're talking about, and letting them play their A game with each other. Because there's something about that where like you put people who are great at what they do together and they just get excited with each other,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and that's why like I love hopping in these kind of calls because like I'm talking to you guys and like even before we hopped onto this podcast, it was just like so fun because it's like you guys just get it, and
Yeah.
so
That's
like,
exactly what I was about to
This
say.
is
It's
why
just,
I do brand marketing because
yeah.
like it requires this level of collaboration and creativity, and you have to have a safe space to do that. Like if I'm going to do my most unhinged chaotic marketing, it doesn't just come out of thin air. Like you need to collaborate with others that can really bring that out. So I love that.
yeah. So listen, this is obviously like I'm here, I'm a guest and all that, but like I want to hear you guys' opinions too, and I think the audience does as well. So I'm gonna become the interviewer now, and I want you guys to each tell me
Ooh.
Okay.
what you guys see as like right now, like 2026, like what does that structure look like? How should people be thinking about like these different channels? And it's such a broad question because like phase of company obviously affects that dramatically. But like,
Yeah.
how are you seeing the whole thing evolve? I'd love to hear you guys' perspective too, because you all have like deep knowledge in each
Yeah.
I
one of these.
think at least in the marketing space, especially in like digital and kind of like a lot of what I do, it's my hope is, and what I do foresee is a lot more, I guess what I'd say like ease of entry points for leveraging AI and AI platforms, right? Because I see it in my own agency. I see in other companies where there's kind of hesitation to use them because there's a lack of knowledge around it, right? Even a simple prompt, it's like starting there. It's like having that in place and giving people a foundation that they're very comfortable with to now go into a more intermediate or advanced mode of prompting and leveraging AI for what it's really there for. That's where I see it going, because there's going to be a point where it's going to have to be used by almost everybody who's in a marketing agency, right? To
Right.
become more efficient, to save time, to think of ideas and help ideate. And it's just not there yet, but it's very, very close, like right
I
around the
love
corner.
that. It's like and I think this is kind of the common thing I'm hearing throughout everything is like the technology has advanced so quickly, but the humans haven't. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
exactly it.
even though like the narrative is like we're replacing humans, like we're actually beasts who like control. And so I think that like we're way more likely to spend the next 5 years with like human in the loop than like complete replacement in a lot of
Yeah,
cases because we actually just want that level of control.
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, everyone's gonna have to learn that, and to bring it up to part like the tech with the people, you have to make the tech easy enough for the people to. I love
exactly right.
that,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
Mallory.
an empty prompt box for so many, I think, is still very intimidating. Not for me, but I think for a lot of folks, it really is. Well, look, as someone who's starting a marketing agency really focused on community marketing and brand marketing, I mean, just when it comes to the initial research process, right, and sort of understanding who I'm talking to and what their ICP looks like, that already in of itself, it's really helpful because usually when I come in, I will do like updated messaging and positioning, right? Especially in this AI world where everyone is kind of making similar tools, that matters, right? So like using outbound in that way, outbound, gosh, darn it. Sorry. I'm
Don't
sorry.
worry, it's not your
Can't help
fault. It's
it.
mine.
No, I know, but it's a great name and I love the story behind it, which you should tell more of, by the way, because I think that's like I think what is special is like that's the humanness element of what you're building. And I think over the next 5 years, that's going to be really important is the human aspect in what we're building. Anywho, but I see it being really helpful for those like initial research phases. And then when it comes to looking for specific clients, I already work with an assistant to like go through LinkedIn and have a very specific search criteria. So like that in of itself will also be huge.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Community. I have built big communities, but I still like my community on like for We Are No Code is like what, like 18,000 people, which is like great, right? But like even I don't fully understand like community. It's such a broad topic. And as a specialist who's been doing this for such a long time, I'd love to hear like, how you think of community, how to build it, and where you can get the best outcomes from it.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And most founders that I work with are very confused by it. And to be honest, the word community kind of means nothing right now because it's such an overused term. To me, it's about really connecting with the super fans and advocates of your product, and then throwing fuel to that fire, engaging with them, rewarding them, and then like finding a way to scale that up. And that's a lot of the work I did at Discord. I built like 5 to 10 different community programs, focused it on all different specific targets and core users. And that helped a lot with organic growth. There's nothing more powerful, in my opinion, than someone from the community or someone that you know that recommends your product, especially knowing that today, like you need to see the product 7 to 8 times at least, around that amount of time to even convert. And I think community is one of the best ways to convert customers and then create loyalty. I think this is a market where people are not loyal. They're hopping from tool to tool, right? So if you really keep them along for the process and you reward them, they're going to want to like stick to your platform and stick to what you're building versus like hopping on another tool because it's slightly cheaper, or maybe it's slightly better, or maybe it's not, right? But I feel like building that loyalty with the community helps with that. So
That
yeah,
really
that's like
hits
my
home.
quick TLDR.
No, that really hits home because I think like that early momentum is just what actually makes the big difference. And yeah, we see the difference of that as well, especially in like companies like Lovable and Bolt who have done a really good job at that versus like almost the rest, right? I think Replit has also done a good job at that, but like it's a really tough thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
Love
And
it.
it's a relationship that you need to build. It is not an overnight marketing hack that is going to take place. And so a lot of like the advice that I probably would have gave you 10 years about building community would be the same today. I mean, I think it's also about like if you are interested in UGC content, there's nothing more powerful than people just talking about you because they want to, because they like you. And that, I think that actually is resulted from when you actually go and build intentional community. So
Oh man, I
that's great
love
too.
that. And it brings us to the next point with Charlie, because there's this other big elephant in the room right now with AI, which is just like search engines. Basically we see that people are getting a lot of their search information from LLMs. Like, tell us about how you think of that and the shift. It's like
All
a
right,
big
like
shift.
who's interviewing who right now, Christian? Let's.
Welcome to Christian Peverelli's podcast. We today have
This
Connor,
is our
Molly, and
last day, you
Charlie.
guys. This is our last day. I hope you know.
Yeah.
Christian's taking over.
Okay, so I think the big news recently, Adobe purchased SEMrush. I think that's a huge signal of SEO is not dead. It's changed. Yes, there's AI overviews, the blue links, blah blah blah. It's not going anywhere. The AI everywhere, the GEO, all that. Pardon my language here. I'm going to swear. All that bullshit. It's all the same. It's search engine optimization. You optimize for search engines. Well, for humans first, you'll show up, and then you'll subsequently show up in LLMs. So it's technical, it's backlinks, it's content. And you keep your site clean, you'll rank. I don't think it's going to go in there. I think it's critical that founders at least have somebody on their team, if not learn that themselves. And LLMs help with that, but I think you have to put in, UGC, personal, some sort of human element into that content on your page, because that will absolutely help you rank. So your question, real quick question, Christian, was where is it going, or like how is it going to affect AI?
No, I mean, I
Is that
just
your
guessed like, you kind of answered the majority of it. But it's like, yeah, that's a big thing people are talking about, right? They're calling it all sorts of things. It's like search LLM
no,
optimization.
it's all
SLO.
bullshit.
Everyone wants to create
No.
the next buzzword. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
It's all,
That's
and then
really
start
what
like
it
an
is.
agency around that and use a bunch of jargon on their landing pages to confuse people and get them to have a
Yep.
sign up call, and then they're going to use outbound to source the calls, and then it's all gonna work exactly. So as we wrap up here, Christian, we've taken up some of your time, but we've communicated on LinkedIn, via DMs, and you mentioned that your first check was angel investing. Pardon me, your first check in angel investing, your first check was to Lovable. So my question is, how is that possible, Christian Peverelli? How did you get in that? How did you get on the cap table? How
Oh,
did you
like
become aware of that?
I know how to understand sophisticated, like my mind works kind of like that guy in the Matrix. And honestly, it comes down to being a bit of a nerd and being at the right place at the right time. I was just like, I was one of the first people to become an ambassador of AI coding because I was such a big figure on YouTube for no code. And so all these platforms approached me as soon as AI coding started coming out, and I was excited to try out these platforms. When I basically, discovered them, I played around with the three ones I mentioned earlier. And the one that stood out the most for me was the fact that was lovable in the sense that I was able to get the full result that I actually wanted, which was a working MVP. Sure, there were things that weren't great, but it was enough for me to go out there and do the first phase of like building a startup, which is testing. And we know that, if you build a production ready product as the first one, you're going to have to change the whole thing anyway, because, 90% of the time you hit the market and realize you have to like adapt. So long story short, I, did a first campaign for them, really enjoyed the tool, got put in touch with Anton, who's the CEO. And and then I asked him if I could invest a little bit in Lovable, and he said like yes, but we're closing this, and it was right before these past big rounds, so I was in the round before that, meaning that and I hear there's something in the works right now for a next round, which is obscene, and and then actually I showed him Outbond early on, and this no one knows in the world yet, but I'll post about it at some point. And he wrote an angel check for Outbond too, because he was really impressed with what we built.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome.
That's not a bad name on your cap table.
Is the truth. No, access, being an influencer.
No, I access,
That's what
and
it is.
then like I love your piece about being at the right place at the right time, because it does feel like a lot of that when we're building or we're in this space. Like there's a component of that I think we don't think about, because we like to have control, like you said earlier, right?
Yeah, and honestly, like I think of angel investing is probably best done when you're only investing in things that you can have an influence on. And for me, if I talk about Lovable on in a video or build something in front of people, thousands of people will sign up. And then the second thing is like, if you understand this world, you're just more likely to bet on the right player as well. Mm-hmm. And
Makes
so
sense.
I would say it's luck, because honestly, it could have been any of the like Replit, Bolt, or Lovable. But it seems like right now, they're ahead of the game at the moment in that specific kind of category of vibe coding, I'd say.
I would agree.
Gosh, cool. Well, Christian, where can people find you, and where can people find your company?
Yeah, so it's Outbond. And .ai, and you can find that on the internets if you type it in the top bar. Me, LinkedIn, you can send me a message on LinkedIn if you want to connect. I'm always down. And or on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel. And there's only really two things on YouTube. It's people who absolutely love you and you change their life, and other people who come and just absolutely troll you. And so I love them all, though, because they're all part of this crazy trip that I've been going on recently. But yeah, no, those are the places you could find me, and I'm always open to chat.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Christian. It was awesome, man.
This was the best podcast I've been on so far. Don't tell anyone else.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell. It was just like super casual and natural. I love it. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Love it.
Thanks,
That's
man.
a compliment,
Thank
you
you
guys.
Okay, we're back post-interview with Christian Peverelli. Good stuff with that dude. He's a funny guy. I could tell first minute he hopped on like, yeah, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, his energy was amazing.
Energy was great. We got interviewed for a portion. I was like, he said it. I swear. He was like, okay, I'm gonna ask you guys a question, and it's like, the cartoons where it's like the gulp. I'm like, oh no. Don't ask a question I don't know how to answer.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Also, he said as a comment that it was the best podcast he's ever been a part of. Which...
I believe he says that to everybody, though.
No, maybe he doesn't, Charlie. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't. But maybe he does. But I don't know. I felt like the chemistry was there. Like
Christian, we're gonna listen to other podcasts. We're gonna find you out, man. If you say it to other people,
for real.
We're gonna use an agent. Yeah. No, good stuff with that, dude. So that was a great interview, and that tool is legit for sure. Okay, let's roll into this past week in AI, and Mallory, let's chat about, because I want to talk about this too, and I know Connor does. Name updates. Where there's one that you're excited with.
Name updates first.
Name updates first. Okay, so
there's a jingle.
Oh, there it is. Jingle. Okay.
Oh boy, you guys are funny.
Well, hopefully
this isn't like
to get
me to sing a jingle. So it's in the works. We're thinking about it.
Name updates first. But hopefully it's not going to be a very long segment for the show. We'll have the name down.
Mallory, can you do an intro for each one of our segments now, or like when we rebrand?
Put her on the spot.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Hell
It's the
yeah.
best thing
Okay.
I've been asked all day. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
Okay. So I have a new short list to work with here.
Oh, look at
I was
that.
telling the guys beforehand that I got really excited about a specific name, and I actually am mostly excited about the top one here, Builders Growth Lab. To me, it perfectly
Yo.
encapsulates who we're interviewing, who we're trying to reach. The growth component is about marketing, is it not? It covers
Mm-hmm.
all three of our areas of expertise without saying the word marketing. And then the lab kind of just like, throws it together because not only are we going to be doing this podcast, Charlie's building campaign pilots, but of course, we're thinking about angel investing at some point too. So I feel like that third word just
Oh, all
is
right.
great. So this is actually my favorite, and there's a few others here, but this one was my favorite. And I just wanted to see what you guys think.
Launchpad.
So,
I like the top one.
Yeah, you
yeah,
have them in like. Did you put them in order of what you like versus like from
yeah,
favorite to least favorite?
kind
Yeah,
of,
I'm following that, and I'm
kind of.
completely aligned with it. Like
Builders
Builders Growth
Growth
Lab is
Lab.
great. AI
Yeah.
Launchpad's good. Builders Launchpad is good, and I think the last two I think they get a little
They get a little
wordy.
too long. I
Yeah,
agree.
mouthy kind of.
I agree.
So
I agree. This is me trying to kind of like throw, right? Like this is too long, but I'm like, okay, AI, growth, the launch part really resonates with founders. So I try to put it together, but I think it's a
is
mouthful. I would
is this
agree.
like a marketing tactic where you're like, we're gonna give them two really good ones, and everything
Oh.
else is gonna be
Everything's
is
going to
not
be
gonna-
shit.
So they're gonna really love the good one.
It's like a
I'm
pricing
kidding. I
package,
love the
right?
top one. I really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I like that one. Builders Growth Lab. Yeah. Yeah. If
All
that's what
right.
y'all
I
like,
mean, I
then let's
like
do
it.
it.
Do you guys like it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
this was the shortest.
Okay.
This was the shortest session. Like, that's
So
it.
we're going with AI one more time. AI
We're
builders.
going with Builders Growth
Builders
Lab.
Growth Lab. No more AI.
No more AI, which I think is fine because
Charlie.
Charlie's like, from an SEO
Breathe,
perspective,
breathe.
this isn't gonna work, you guys. And then the brand marketer is like, yes, it will. It's gonna be great.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right.
Love it.
Okay.
We'll sleep on it if you guys like think
No,
that
let's
there's
do
more
it. Fuck
feedback.
it. Let's
But I
roll.
think it's
You
great.
got Charlie to say yes. Just go. Just go.
Yep.
Okay,
He's gonna-
okay. We're
gas
going.
it.
We're going.
Floor it. We're gonna floor it on this. As long. What do we? So okay. So at this point, we decide on a name.
Yep.
What if there's no handles available? What if like the
Good
domains aren't
question.
available? What if?
Check right
Well,
now.
we gotta get creative with it. We'll have to do that. I mean, if it doesn't, maybe there's slight variations or tweaks that we can make.
Okay.
And I'm open to that too. But I have not done that research yet. So, I mean, this name shouldn't be taken, but in terms of the domain and social handles, I'm unclear. So that'll be homework for us to do. And then from here, we just need to figure out what I'd like to do is kind of define a few visual directions for us to go after. And then we lock that down, and then we have a new look and
New
have
intro.
a new name, we'll have a new
outro.
intro. Also we should probably update the messaging, right? Which is
Yeah.
easy, but I feel like, yeah, we're on track. So
Okay.
yeah, Builders Growth Lab. All right. You guys let us know what you think, but it sounds like that'll be our new name, and we'll do some homework to see if we can make this happen.
Builders Growth Lab. Okay, let's do it. Builders
That's
Growth
fun.
Lab.
I like it. I'm glad you
Yeah.
guys like it. I was like, oh, I hope they like it, because if they don't, I'm like, I'll do some more brainstorming. But
You would have gotten kicked off the show.
That's fine.
That would have been that.
Oh,
Yeah, that would have been.
damn it.
It was a fun ride, Mallory. It was a fun
I know,
ride.
I know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Especially during the holidays. Huh? Anyway, what are we chatting about next? She Builds by Lovable. This is great. This is freaking awesome.
Yeah, so it sounds like Lovable is launching a build-a-thon called She Builds. So it's specifically for women that
Love it.
are looking to ship apps that solve real problems. So it looks like the build-a-thon is going to take place in mid-December, December 15th to 17th, but I believe applications close tomorrow. So if you're listening to this and, well, actually, what day is it? Tuesday.
Yeah.
It might already.
Wah. Yeah,
but,
I know that's tough. So
dang it. But yeah.
Elena, shout out Elena Verna, put the post out yesterday, and I saw it and I was like, all right, we got to jump on this. So applications close tomorrow, which is kind of
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, and let's they're accepting 200 participants across categories such as business app, consumer apps, and social impact.
I told my girlfriend to hop in there. She has celiac disease, gluten free, and she wants to make an app with using agents that will go out and like do the research for you. Like, is this menu gluten friendly? Is this fryer, like dedicated? Is this not, can
Yeah.
they, the manual process of they have to call, is this, it takes care of all of that for you.
That's amazing.
I told her to hop in there. Plus, shocking, I bought the domain glutenfree.ai. I think it's gluten free or gluten. It was something along those lines. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it was available too. And I was
Oh
like,
my God, Charlie, we need an intervention.
No, seriously, like it's an
Connor,
addiction, man.
No,
wait,
but
I
Like,
think we
the
need to
domain was
intervene.
available. It was an exact match domain.
next Tuesday, Mallory and I are going to be on 15 minutes early waiting for you, Charlie, to enter in. And we're just going to be like, Charlie, there's something we need to discuss here.
Yeah.
You need to stop buying
This
domains.
is really serious. Yeah. Especially since you're not turning a profit on these domains. You're just hoarding them.
You're hoarding
No, yeah.
domains.
Yeah. I could just let them on. Yeah, maybe that's
okay. It's a
Maybe
fairly
that-
inexpensive obsession, so we'll let it slide this time.
yeah. I thought the domain was. My thinking was like I hopped on Glimpse. I saw the trending keyword go up and to the right, and I was like, yeah, gluten free. It's not like it's going to go away. Like gluten free is
No.
Yeah. So I was like,
Not at all.
I'll hop on there. So you know what? Screw you guys. I don't care what you think. I'm just going to keep. I'm just going to keep.
I mean,
buying
it's
domains.
good. It's good. It's a glutenfree.ai. I mean, like, I get it.
Yeah. So I'm taking that. So all that to say, I'll help her like along the way, like when she asks for it. But I was like, yeah, just jump in there, do submit, do your
Yeah.
thing like that. That's what they want. So
This is the time to build. And,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you
is.
don't have the skills. This is the time to build. So for those of you who are listening, if you have not dived into any of these tools, like, please, this is a great week to do it. Holiday week, you have a little bit more
Downtime.
time, explore some of these tools and really get used to using them.
cool. Up next we have. Oh yeah. So we wanted to. Okay. So again, I've been down the rabbit hole of just campaign pilots for so long. I will ask Connor. Connor, what do you use
Oh, man.
Claude for, and what do you use GPT for?
It's really easy. I use Claude Code for coding, like a lot of like script writing, HTML builds, like JavaScript, stuff like that. And then I'll also use Claude for copywriting if I need it.
Yeah.
And I honestly use ChatGPT a little bit less than I used to now. Sometimes I'll have it validate the code, but it hasn't done nearly as good of a job with that over the last couple of weeks. So
It
kind of surprising.
validates
But
it from Claude Code.
yeah, like I'll
Oh.
share between, because again, it's like you never get.
Yeah.
It's really rare to have like first time shot, like you get the code that you actually need and it works as intended, right? So it's a lot of going back in and reprompting, telling you what's wrong. But what I'll do now is I'll take the code from Claude, throw it into chat, and I'll be like, hey, take time, go through each line. This is the objective. This is what I'm trying to achieve with it. I want you to validate this, 110%. And a lot of times it'll find like little things that it'll pull out that are pretty helpful. And then I'll put it back into Claude and I just have it complete the rest of the code based on some of the updates chat made. So that's how I use it, at least those in tandem with one another. And honestly, again, over time, Claude Code, it's really, really robust. It's really neat. I don't know. Have you used it at all?
I've never used Claude
Dude,
Code. So,
I haven't either.
It's
Which is actually
I've heard it's
insane.
incredible.
it's actually really, really good. It's
Okay,
really
that's
efficient.
our homework, Charlie. Like talking
So-
about
Alright.
testing out tools. You and I
We
need
should
to go
actually
test
test
out
them.
Claude Code.
So
Which is funny because I worked at Bolt.new where like we integrated Claude Code into our agent, but I didn't get a chance to just like
Yeah.
test out Claude Code as is. So
Okay.
I had reasons to be testing it out and I haven't. So this to me is like I got to do it.
I recommend it. Like, yeah,
Okay.
just do it in there and then use something else about, like, I always like to use two. I'm sure you guys, or Charlie, at least you do, or like whatever. I'll use two
Yeah.
at the same time again,
Yeah.
just to kind of cross over because
Yeah.
again, I don't always get the output I want from one. So I'll take what I got, throw it in the other, give it some prompts and
Mhm.
typically get what I want after a few iterations of it. So that's where I'm at. What about you though, Charlie? It's like, what's I guess Claude versus GBT.
I use Claude for content, GPT for just like ideas, just kind of like business stuff,
Mhm.
like share, if I had this idea, what would be the, business plan, or something like SEO related, like here are these keywords, come up with something around, this keyword. So I really only use those two. So I use Claude for content silos. Like here's the parent page, here's the child page. Give 5 ideas for child pages. Like I was doing that last night with campaign pilots. I haven't wired anything up. I should, in terms of an agent to put out content, like for X and LinkedIn, I guess I would have to use Claude. Might be the best use.
That's what I would.
LLM. But yeah, so for the content written and some SEO stuff, Claude. And then for like business ideas, show outlines, I actually use GPT for podcast show outlines and not Claude. And then for like deep research stuff, I'll use GPT. So for like, what was something I was looking? I was looking at like angel investing questions and stuff like that. I had GPT. It was like quizzing me on angel investing of, here's 10 questions, medium to hard difficulty. And then I picked A, B, or C, or D. So that was through GPT. So I think now I use GPT more than I use Claude.
Do you? Interesting.
Yeah, I do too, which I actually want to be using Claude more. I primarily use GPT for almost everything. Like this morning, I was using it for diet planning and skincare routines. But I use it for copywriting. I use it for generating plans. That image that was generated for my Substack post, that I generated that with.
That was GPT?
That was GPT-5.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
That was a cool image.
I know. So I was able to get like a sample image on Pinterest, but I wanted it to be in a different color.
Okay.
And then I would essentially just share the image with GPT-5 and have it generate something similar, but with the tweaks that I wanted. So once in a while, I'll have it generate some images for me as well. But honestly, like everything, like truly everything, which I don't want to be reliant on one tool for all this stuff because it just knows way too much about me. I think that's what I get really fearful of. I have used Claude and I don't know why I don't stick to it. It's a great tool. I've used it at every business, like every startup in the last few years, but for some reason I just keep finding myself going back to GPT-5, which I don't have a good reason for other than like, it's just the tool I started kind of using initially.
Yeah.
So, and then, as a like when I was working at Bolt with my teams, like we would use like VO3, Midjourney, to create and generate, any sort of assets and creative. So, we did like a full blown ad with VO3. So yeah, I'm not that I'm like playing around with that right now, but more so tools that as a marketer, my teams have used.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use. It's just easier to go to one platform, right?
I know.
As much as I like the content from Claude.
It is. It's just, again, I guess it depends what you're doing, right? Again, it's like if I'm like the coding needs to be validated. That's why I use two. But if I actually typically always start with chat as well. But that's because it was the first platform. It was the first one I started using, and there's probably some subconscious, I don't know, brand resonance there, just because okay, great, like it works and it solves a lot of my problems before I even started using Claude. But I don't know. It's just, I just like using at least two platforms to make sure one's actually feeding me correct info.
I've been vibe coding lately with Bolt.new, and then I'll use ChatGPT to help me write the like PRD and the prompts and double check the work, and then I'll go back to Bolt, right? So
exactly.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that wraps up episode 27, presented by Campaign Pilots.
Sponsored by Campaign Pilots.
For now. And we will come back next week.
Happy
Thursday.
Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Enjoy your holiday. Safe and sound. You guys
be safe. Don't do anything stupid.
Don't drink too much on Wednesday. What is it called? Like Blackout Wednesday or something? Be safe.
Is that what they call it now?
Well, in the Midwest, that's what we did. But here in California, it's not as much of a drinking culture. But yes, that is a thing. So be safe. Be safe.
Okay. Cheers, everybody. We're out.